Hi, I hope that you guys are now doing all your exercises and all your workouts and getting really nice and fit to come to the party. Now, by now you're starting to understand that the main issues that are facing us and our evolution is a lot of social prejudice and alienation. So now that we're all mates and we understand a bit more about biology and how the mating game actually works, today I thought I would talk about sex, sexuality, and why we are ultimately not satisfied as individuals. Now, there is a lot of science as to why we get addicted to individuals, people, and it's an inherent need to feel loved and accepted. Besides the DNA that lasts in your system for a kiss is a week, and more ends up a lot longer. So although we're trying to battle something, an addiction, i.e., if I smoke, it's going to take me X amount of time to get that addiction out of my system. It's the same as sexual relationships. We share energy with there's so much that happens underneath that we're so busy trying to be the sexy one, get the attention. That's fine, but what we need to understand is until we actually change the way we look at sex and sexuality, none of us are going to get satisfied. You can go around, sleep with whoever you want, do whatever you want, but the mating game is quite a intricate system that has been monopolized, corrupted, and used as a weapon in war rather than a way to liberate us and make us feel good. It's ultimately, a lot of the time we are looking for acceptance from others. It's why, again, going back to birds, it's the male birds that are the colourful ones, but in the way we have taken sex and sexuality, it's not about the woman dressing up or the man dressing up. You want to feel sexy, that's great, but it doesn't mean it's just to attract another person, because ultimately when you take this top layer off, what's happening underneath is a completely different story, and we need to start understanding the difference between just having sex as the mating game, or whether we're actually going to start looking for partnerships that elevate us on an energetic level, on a mental level, and isn't used as a way to control each other anymore, but as a way to liberate each other. Now, again, going back to animals, there are so many different types of congregations or party tricks that all animals use, and we are not unique to that. What we need to understand, though, is how we can actually start looking at sex and sexuality, and rather as taboo or I'm so cool, we have 14-year-old girls in the bushes getting it on because they need to feel like they're socially accepted. It's sad for me, because when two people come together, it's about liberating one another, not a control mechanism. I couldn't tell you the amount of sexual relationships that are based on control and gain, and basically it's all been corrupted in order for us to be trapped in our minds rather than liberating ourselves and our feelings. So again, going back to ancient cultures, they had fertility parties. Prostitution is the oldest, one of the oldest professions on earth, and that's because of the way it's been capitalized and monopolized. You know, women have had to subject themselves in order to get or to survive. And it's not just an old practice. You know, there is no difference from a woman standing on the corner of the street or someone who marries into a relationship for money. It's just a different form of prostitution. And when we start to look at sex and sexuality from a completely different angle, we'll start to realize that actually what we've been taught has been about power and control rather than actual liberation of ourselves. It's not just to procreate, otherwise we wouldn't enjoy it. And if it was just for money or just for power, it's not the case. We need to start looking at ourselves rather than looking for that acceptance or that gratification from externally. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to tell you all to go ahead and be wankers, although I do suggest that we start looking at how we're going to change the education system for the younger generations to come, because I can tell you, guaranteed, and I've met so many people, they regret a lot of their sexual experiences, and that's because they did it needing that comfort, that I need somebody to love me. It's not how it works. You have to be comfortable with yourself and with your body if you're going to give that body to somebody else. And in order for us to start having healthier relationships, we need to look at sex and sexuality rather than a transaction or, you know, oh, I'm upset with you, let me fix that. Sex isn't a fix to things, and the reason we're so addicted to that ultimate pleasure is because we're not getting it anywhere else, and we need to start looking at ways we're going to educate. You know, I'm going to give you a really radical theory out there, but for me personally, you know, young women should be given tools to self-explore themselves so then they don't feel the need to go out there, because kids sexualizing us is getting younger and younger and younger, and you're seeing more pedophilia, and you're seeing so much control and selling of ourselves for the wrong reasons. What are you actually buying? You know, it's fine to look all sexy on the outside and someone to take you home, but what happens after that? We need to start looking at how we feel, what makes us feel good, and then take that out there. Because I can guarantee you, when you look on people's lists of sexual experiences, 90% of people could tell you that I wish I didn't do that, and I wish I didn't do that. But the ultimate reason we are doing this and becoming addicted to sex, and feeling that need for someone else to love us or to tell us that we're beautiful or that we're this or we're that, is alienation, and basically taking away our sex and sexuality and selling it. It's not who we are. We are designed to enjoy each other. We are designed, regardless of whether you're, you know, heterosexual, gay, whatever, you know, you need to explore you and your body before you can give that to anybody else. And, you know, since we are all mates, let's start looking at ways that we can start educating and bringing sex and sexuality. You know, it's been like, shh, don't talk about it. Why not? Let's start talking about sex and sexuality and how we can start to break down the alienation that we have all been pushed into, and it's getting younger and younger and younger. So in order for us to break this cycle, it's time for us to start looking at who we are, our science, our biology, start being smart, because the art of being smart starts in the heart, and how we're then going to give the best of ourselves to each other. And rather than try and control one another through sex and sexuality, let's start looking at how we're going to liberate each other. Please like, share, pass this on, and get the message out.